Hello everybody, today Truth Detective here. A book review. How to Rap, the Art of the Hip Hop MC. Wow, this is a really jam-packed book, and can you believe it? I actually found it at the local library. Not this exact copy, I bought it because it was so good. I read it through, I think, almost a couple of times in the library, and I just saw that this is a great book to have. And I read it chronologically when I bought it. And there's a lot of quotes or wisdoms from a wide variety of rappers. There's Winnie P over here and Tech Nine. And they talk about their process of rap and how they write lyrics, how they practice their voice. They talk about all the facets of rap. They talk about choosing beats versus producing beats, your own. And what's pretty clear from here is that very few rappers, rap artists, do the beats. And it's very clear that in the real rapping scene, where these artists do all kinds of collaboration and that kind of stuff, they have a lot of contacts with these producers, and when you are at the stage that I am, I don't have that kind of luxury of getting somebody to make me beats. So at this point I have been just using what I have found. And because of that, none of my raps are on YouTube. And that's fine at this point. I'm getting better. And I hope that I will at some point, find this more professional ground to make this stuff. They talk about how to write lyrics and how you can write to a beat or without a beat. I'm gonna say that I have been writing so much in my past that I believe that I have some kind of edge in this. And I was trying to figure out the song structure of how to really write hooks and how to write verses and that kind of stuff. But when I think about hooks in songs, for example, black metal, it doesn't even have hooks. And I don't think that rap music should have hooks. There's a lot of rap songs, actually, at least in Finnish rap, that don't have any hooks in them. And I would say that maybe you should make it so that your single song has a hook, but all the other songs don't have a hook in the album. I think that's enough. And it's the kind of question, why do you want your listeners to remember the lyrics? Like, I think that music should just go above your head. Like, you shouldn't be able to remember this stuff. It should be so cryptic, high level. And over here they talk about cryptic lyrics. What they don't really talk about are the recording specifics of like microphones and tech and writing stuff. Like they talk about some gadgets over here that some of these guys have written lyrics with, and comparing the pen and the ink with the laptop and some smart devices. I would say from my own experience that writing rap lyrics with a pen is kind of hard. You start there, but I wouldn't listen to beats when I write with pens. That's not a good idea. You have to go deep and you need that silence. But when you have done that enough, holy shit, the hours I have written in my life, it's like 5,000. Hours. So I have used all the tools, the typewriter, the computer, and the pen and the ink, and also speech recognition. You can also write rap lyrics with speech recognition for sure. Just try it. I haven't tried it yet. I should. They also talk about freestyle rap. And I have been practicing a lot of freestyle rapping lately in the nature, in the forests. I go to the forests in the night and I have a couple of these lights and just go there and I have a beat and I just go off the top of my head what comes into mind. And I've been seeing the weirdest dreams. And I have been using actually dream material kind of as my lyrics. Those songs are going to be really hard to nail, by the way, but I'm gonna do it. It's a interesting realm that you discover that this stuff is really more than you could ever imagine. Stuff is something very deep if you take it to that level. And they talk also about performing, and I don't know if I will ever be a performer. I have a dream of having my own stage so I could film videos on the stage, do kind of like online stuff. It would be fun to do rapping also online that way, like from the stage. No real audience. What I feel is that I don't really appreciate, just performing in general to real people. It's just not me, I like the cameras, I like this stuff more. But rapping, it was fun. I was doing a lot of it in the summer, but at some point it no longer felt kind of so much fun, But I have been keeping up with it. I have been doing even more hours. And I would say that rapping is very fun when you have people around you that can also rap. But it's such a fucking rare skill. At least here in this town. Believe me, I have been trying to find those guys. But it's still a rare skill. Like, not even a couple of % of people that you see can rap. And I would say that in many situations you should consider rapping kind of the same as, drug dealing. You kind of keep your power levels kind of high hidden in this for various reasons. But man, that's an awesome way to practice freestyle rap and rap in general. Just go to the nature and don't worry about it. You're gonna get better and the connections in the brain are gonna get snappier and faster. I just came home from a session I was doing outside. Right now I don't have the luxury to write the lyrics at home and just spend so much time on the computer and listening to beats and coming up with lyrics. So I'm using a different strategy and discovering that rapping is also a kind of a spiritual practice if you have the right producer, I would say. Yeah. So how do you find that producer then? Well, that's a tough choice. At this point, I feel that if I have the beats, I can just make them publishable on my own, I can just write the lyrics and I can do all the mixing and recording and that kind of stuff. I don't really need any help in that. I just need the beats. And I tried just a couple of, today actually I made a couple of beats. It was fun and I researched some into these drum machine things, but it took me like 3 hours or 2 hours fumbling around with it. And I feel that when you make a beat, making good lyric takes about the same time. So it kind of matches actually. A rapper takes as much time as a beat maker to make that. They take quite the same amount of time, at least for me. I have written so much rhyme that when I start, I just come up with this stuff very easily nowadays. Maybe the structure is not quite right at this point, but I have tried to develop myself as a rapper in many facets, becoming better with the breath control and having more lung capacity and getting my brain to work snappier and getting able to pronounce every word very clear, and at the same time using all of my vocal practice or voice practice, the voices I do. And all of these things are talked about in this book, so it's a very valuable resource for a person that wants to rap. But also I feel that when you listen to these other guys, at first when I started to do this rap stuff with the beat on the background, I just freestyled and I put out these stories. But what I feel is that when you start to write, it becomes more about the words, less about the story. It's the shame for some fucking reason with my writing at this point that I'm so kind of caught up with the words that they no longer kind of lead to anything. It has been kind of the same as with abstract art. When you kind of no longer try to represent anything with it, it just becomes kind of about the words. But then again, it's the way with many things that when you go very deep into it, you lose the kind of the illusion of it. It just becomes what it is. And then you gain a new type of freedom with it. I feel that I have something to bring to this scene, and I have tried also to write some English lyrics, and it has been great. What I feel from right now is that when you write to a beat, you write with a keyboard, and you do it so that this is at least my thought process behind it. You write the lyrics with a keyboard and you listen to the beat through preferably studio monitors. and you rap at the same time. You just go over and over and you hear how it sounds. And you wear a hat like this. I mean not a fedora specifically, but a brim hat. So you can't wear headphones. And when it's ready, when you have the lyric ready, you put on your rap cap and headphones on top of that. It's all about the hats in the rap game. And some guy mentioned over here also that it's a different hat for the process. And then you start recording that. And you start recording when you're at the point that you need about 10, 20 to 30 to 40 tries to get it right. And you have the lyric ready. And small changes can be made at this point, but it should be about ready at that point. That's what I feel. With lyrics like this, it's very hard to write them on notebook because you have to make changes to it. But there's a lot of rappers that have in the past, of course, done that. And I have wrote some great lyrics on a notebook, but you have to use a different strategy. I would box it into these smaller things, and you use a two-type process. You take these boxes, and these boxes could go like line 1, line 2, and this like this. What they talk about here over here about counting bars and that kind of stuff. What I understand about that is that a bar is one beat. So when you have a drum machine, you always have 16 bars. So 16 spots to put noises in the or sounds in your drum machine. So that's 16 bars. But when you talk about writing lines, does that mean like 16 lines of like rap verse? I have no idea about that. But if you divide it up like that, then sometimes you can make the rhythm work a little bit better. And you can have a pause after 16 lines, like a small, and it's all how you make that voice, and that's how you spit the lyrics, kind of go over the beat. And some of these guys talk about this term being in the pocket with the beat. Well, that's of course desirable. What I feel is that I'm always in the pocket with the beat. The problem is the recording. Like when you have headphones on, first of all, you cannot hear yourself very clear. If you loop back your own voice, you have a little delay. And it's very hard to get it actually to match with my current setup, when I was recording like this, that I just put on the beat on the speakers, and I just put those fucking audio tracks on top of each other, so I could see that now it kind of matches. Now that's where the beat starts. Then I was always having, much better timing. But now, I have no clue how to do this like professionally, because like the editing software I use to record at the moment, I feel that it actually has some kind of fucking delay in it, like compared to like it doesn't I can't get it to really match. And that irks me. But when I see, like when I look at it really clearly, I feel that there's this kind of I don't know how much time is it, but it feels that I always kind of come after the beat, kind of like I'm a little bit behind the beat. it's not ever just exactly, but when you listen to it, it sounds pretty close to being exactly it. They also talk about how some rappers and some audio engineers that they have can splice together songs from a lot of recordings, and how some other rappers just do it in one go. What I feel is that you should get a rap song recorded in one go. You should be able to just rap it just through. And that's what I do. But sometimes I do little cuts and edits right there. Maybe to get that one word to just kind of go right in the right place in the beat and that kind of stuff, to play around with the timing a little bit. But otherwise, you know, I wouldn't just, you know, for example, like record in different sessions when you go for this verse and this verse. I would just speed it through, and I think that that's just right. Like like this is not something that you should do editing in. But you can do that, and I have done some of that. So yeah. Of course, this book is also about rhymes, but the Poetics of Hip Hop book was much more about rhymes. What I started to understand from here is that there are these things called end rhymes. So every last word in the verse is the rhyming word, but you can also write lyrics so that every word rhymes. I mean, and what I try to kind of do is make the words mathematically also the same length, so you get this kind of interesting blocks of letters, so to say. When I write, that's how I look at it, you know. It's music on its own, you know. I many times hear, you know, songs that necessarily don't even exist when I write, and I make the words the length of those. What are those called? The sounds in the song, and I think it's cool. What I'm going to say over here is that I also feel that beat makers influence your rap lyrics somewhat, and the themes, and I feel that if you are a beat maker, it shows if you have actually good vocabulary and you're verbally advanced. It shows how you make beats because you understand spacing of words better, like how you space those words. You understand it better, so you can make a better beat to kind of house that artist. And when you have to deal with beats that you find off the internet and YouTube, then maybe you don't get the best kind of structure for your song always. But it's still fun. It's still fun. What I feel also is that despite all of this, rap is a very restricting actually thing, like artistically. There's a lot of stuff that you cannot do over here. And it has been a really important learning experience for me. And I hope that it will show in my videos in the future. And I hope to become that one YouTuber who is so verbally advanced. No other YouTuber can match this guy. And it's not about the subjects I talk about. It's about how I talk about them. Isn't that what's rap all about. It's about how, not what. Of course it's about what also, and here we talk about content. Well, what I'm gonna say is that rap lyrics are not fucking novels, you know. You cannot do something that you can do a novel with the rap lyrics. Like that's just impossible. So just keep that in mind. Rap lyrics are not fucking novels. So I want to become a novelist. And when I read novels, I've been just getting back into Dan Simmons over here and Mario Puzo. And I just love how they take all the time and all the words. And with rap lyrics, you know, you have to be very concise. You have to cut out a lot of stuff, and it's a different kind of thing. I love to write, and I love to write everything. But it's funny that I never planned to write rap songs. I never had a plan or a goal of doing that. It just happened. No. I just happened at some point to just start to write rhymes. And now, at the moment, I feel that I cannot write anything but rhymes. I have no clue what is happening. Maybe I will break this spell at some point and end this madness. Yeah, there was a lot of artists that I knew from here, but also a lot of guys that are not recognizable for me. And I think that this book is not very current. It was published in 2009, so rap has changed, you know. And I no longer really listen to this stuff, and I no longer really listen to music. I wrote, when it was the summer vacation, I wrote one jazz song, and I loved writing it and I loved singing it. I found this backing track from YouTube and did it, and I was just having so much fun when I did it, and the rhythm was just right, and you know, it's very much the way that when you encounter some great artist, it's so much easier to do what you do well. So rap is kind of collaboratory in that, but due to the copyright shit that is out there, this thing is kind of hard to release if you use just beats of the internet, because those copyrights are for those people. So what you have a copyright for, if you are a rap artist, for the lyric, but when you deal with record labels, they handle all of this for you and they release that for you. So that's probably the way to do it still in the current age, but man, I'm gonna tell that all those laws, they don't really fucking even help us, you know. I bet they don't even help the fucking producers in any way. But that's that. Maybe there's a reason for everything. The next question, will Truth Detective become a producer? Well, I know that I have understanding of freedom, and even today when I was playing around with the drum machine thing on the computer, it was, kind of interesting, but I at the same time thinking, like, why am I spending time in this when I could be spending time with the words? I'm a writer, man, not a musician. And at the moment I think like, was this just like a side quest for me in writing? Because I have wrote songs before. Maybe not very good songs, but I think some of them even were pretty catchy. And in many genres, I even tried reggae. It was fun writing reggae. And what I feel is that I would want to rap to not a rap beat, but something more electronical. Electronic music, something like a dance, maybe not dance, not house, but not psytrance. But I feel that you could rap to almost, you could rap almost to any upbeat modern type of song that makes you dance. I feel that you could rap almost to any kind of that kind of beat, but when you search for rap beats, they have very specific type of timing in them, and I feel that you cannot maybe always in those situations push enough, use enough force in how you pronounce lyrics, because the beat kind of has this hardness of an edge to it when it should have this kind of a round, like a to it. Like many songs that are like instrumental and you can dance to them are. So I don't see any limitations there. But what a producer has to do is to make the timing right to accommodate the human brain. If we talk about freestyle beats, freestyle beats have to be timed just right for the word to come to the mind. Of course, you can make the connections faster, and when you learn the freestyle rap, it's very much like a spider web, that you have to go this way and this way and this way and this way, and you see that I make this choice again and again and again and again, then I make another choice. I become a little bit more conscious. I go here instead, and at that point you create a new connection in the brain, and you do it again and again and again and again and again and again and again, and at some point when you freestyle, you just get like 7, 8, 9, 10 rhymes, and they are divided like 3, 3 and 3, and it's beautiful how it flows. And then you kind of fumble with your words again. You kind of feel, no, it goes fine, and then you kind of fumble with your words again. Sometimes you feel like you're gonna fail, and then you find the right words. Sometimes you feel like you will succeed, and then you find the wrong word. It's really fun, and all of these rappers, they encourage you to freestyle rap also here. I think you should. Everybody has a different path to become a rapper, and it's clear that there were a bunch of these guys over here who didn't even write lyrics, that just came up with the song, in their head, and I wouldn't be really able to do that fully, you know. It's a process. But this book has a lot of read value. It has, or it is that kind of book that you can just read again and again, because you know there's these guys that have been doing this for so long, and you read a couple of paragraphs from them and kind of go like in your mind like, what is this nigga on about? And yeah, there's a lot of rap lyrics that are so kind of shallow, you know, the themes are so shallow, and that's just how it is. But I don't know if you should even go into rap it with a mindset that you're gonna change this scene or you're gonna do something original in it, because it's kind of like going into a group of drug addicts and think that you're gonna get them sober. It's not gonna happen. More likely they are gonna get you like high. So you stay away from that group. And I wonder if I could find another rapper who is like straight edge, who doesn't take drugs or drink. Yeah, it would be really interesting. There's a whole thing about Christian rap, and I haven't listened to Christian rap in a long time, but yeah, like just use your imagination, man. There's so much stuff you can talk about, but in the end, you know, it's just words. So I've made a lot of songs lately that have been just about those words, and it's abstract at that point, you know, you take it to the level of abstraction. But the fact is that when you rap, you know, there's so many people that are not going to understand what you say. And the beats, they are an universal language, you know, like they don't have the language in them. So it's kind of different. But for example, I write a freaking Finnish rap song, you know, like how many people are even interested in rap in this country, and what a prospect that people are gonna even hear it, you know, even if it might be good. So it's understandable why it's pretty an underground thing. There's so much of it being made, and yet you still never see these guys. Why is that? Well, I feel that if you start by being a rapper, you won't get that kind of feeling for how it is to be interacting with fans and that kind of stuff. I have been doing that through being a YouTuber, and I actually read some books from artists about how to interact with fans. You know, I learned a lot of stuff through reading books that I have taken to my current life, and each book is a little piece to the puzzle, and this was one of those books that was really crucial for my own artistic development, but I feel that it's not the whole truth. And I feel that after you have read some books about rap, you should go your own way, and or read some more books about it, and you should go after that your own way and just find how you're gonna do it. Yeah. But I'm not in no way boxing myself into this one genre, you know. I like to do all kinds of stuff with my voice. And yeah, that's what it has come to. That's the end. I'm very tired at the moment, so here's the review. I don't know why, but these rap books, you know, they take a long time for me to review. Yeah. I like this. This was a great purchase.